The attic was dark. Dusty beams of light sliced through the air. The air was thick with the smell of decay. Sarah coughed, waving a hand in front of her face. She stepped inside. Grandma's house stood silent, an old, looming presence on the hill. It creaked with memories. Sarah had inherited it. Now she was sorting through the past. The attic was the final room, a place untouched for years. Sarah pulled a chain. A single bulb flickered to life. Shadows danced in the corners. She stepped deeper inside. Each step raised dust motes. They swirled in the weak light. Sarah felt a chill. It wasn't from the cold. Old furniture huddled under sheets. Trunks lined the walls. Sarah ran a hand over a chipped trunk. Her fingers came away coated in dust. She moved further into the room. Cobwebs brushed her face. She swatted them away. Her heart was pounding. The attic felt heavy, like it was watching her. Then she saw it, a glimmer in the gloom, tucked in the far corner, hidden under a moth-eaten tapestry. Sarah approached it slowly, curiosity overriding her fear. She pulled the tapestry away. It revealed a large, ornate mirror. Its frame was silver, tarnished and dark with age. The glass was cloudy, like a pool of still water. Sarah reached out. Her fingers brushed the cool glass. It sent a shiver down her spine. She stared at her reflection, or what she thought was her reflection. The face staring back was wrong, older, sadder. The eyes held a deep, haunting sorrow. Sarah gasped and stumbled back. Her heart hammered in her chest. She blinked. The reflection was gone. It was just her own frightened face staring back. Sarah took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing pulse. It was just the light, that's all it could be. The dim bulb casting strange shadows, playing tricks on her mind. She told herself it was nothing more. The next few days were uneasy. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time she was alone, she heard whispers. Soft, indistinct murmurs that sent chills down her spine. She tried to ignore them, tried to focus on unpacking, on making the house her own. But the whispers persisted, growing stronger, more insistent. One night she woke with a start, a cold sweat clinging to her skin. The whispers were loud now, urgent. They seemed to be coming from the attic. Sarah pulled the covers over her head, trying to block out the sound, but it was no use. The whispers were inside her head now, echoing through her mind. Sleep was impossible. Every time Sarah closed her eyes, she felt a presence, a weight pressing down on her chest. The darkness of the room seemed to pulse with an eerie energy, making her heart race. Sarah found herself drawn back to the attic, as if an unseen force was pulling her there. The creaking stairs under her feet echoed her growing anxiety, each step amplifying the sense of dread. She stood before the mirror, its presence both familiar and alien. The air around it felt charged, almost alive. Its surface was no longer cloudy. The once murky glass now gleamed with an unsettling clarity, reflecting more than just her image. It was polished, clear. Her reflection stared back, the same yet different. There was something in those eyes, a depth of emotion she couldn't quite place. The sadness in its eyes was deeper now. It was as if the mirror had captured her very soul, magnifying her innermost fears and sorrows. The wrinkles etched a little deeper. Time seemed to move differently in the reflection, aging her in ways she couldn't understand. The whispers seemed to emanate from the reflection itself. Faint, almost inaudible, they spoke of forgotten memories and hidden truths. Sarah tried to look away, but she couldn't. Her eyes were locked onto the reflection, as if it held some dark secret she needed to uncover. The mirror held her captive. Its gaze was hypnotic, drawing her in, stealing her will. She felt her own thoughts slipping away, replaced by the mirror's haunting presence. She reached out a trembling hand. The air around her felt colder, the chill seeping into her bones. Her fingers touched the cold glass. It felt like ice, sending a shiver up her spine. A jolt of energy surged through her. It was as if the mirror was alive, responding to her touch with a force that was both electrifying and terrifying. She cried out, trying to pull away, but the mirror's grip was relentless, holding her in place with an unyielding strength. But it was too late. The mirror had her now, its grip tightening with every passing second, pulling her deeper into its dark embrace. The mirror rippled like water disturbed by a stone. Sarah's reflection reached out, its icy fingers closing around her wrist, pulling her forward. She thrashed, fought with a strength she didn't know she possessed, but the grip was too strong. She was dragged through the looking glass into the mirror's cold embrace. The world behind her dissolved, replaced by darkness, an endless, suffocating void. Sarah screamed until her throat was raw, but no sound escaped her lips. She was trapped, lost in the mirror's depths, alone with the whispers and the reflection that was not her own. Time lost all meaning. Days blended into nights, and moments stretched into eternity. Sarah drifted through the darkness, her steps echoing in the void, the whispers her only companions. They were soft, almost indistinguishable, yet they filled the silence. They swirled around her, taunting her, mocking her fear. The shadows seemed alive, dancing to an unseen rhythm. Then a face formed in the darkness, the face from the mirror. It was familiar yet foreign, a haunting reflection of her own, older, sadder, but with a strange kindness in its eyes. It was as if the face held 1,000 untold stories. It spoke, its voice a low melodic hum. The sound was soothing, almost hypnotic. It told her the mirror's story, a tale of vanity and despair, of dreams turned into nightmares, of a woman who had craved eternal beauty and the price she paid for her desire. Her reflection was her prison. The woman had made a deal with a dark entity, a pact sealed with her own essence, trading her soul for eternal youth. Her wish was granted, but at a terrible cost. But the mirror twisted her wish, distorting her reality, trapping her within its depths, a prisoner of her own vanity, forcing her to witness her own decay. Her beauty faded, but her torment was eternal. The face in the darkness explained that Sarah was not the first. Others had stumbled upon the mirror, lured by its promises, trapped by its curse. But Sarah was different. She had a kind heart, a pure soul. The woman saw in Sarah a chance for redemption, a way to break the curse that bound them both. The face faded, replaced by a glimmer of light, a way out. But to reach it, Sarah had to confront the darkness, to face the entity that held them captive. Fear threatened to consume her, but Sarah knew what she had to do, for herself and for the lost souls trapped within the mirror's depths. The darkness coalesced, taking the form of a shadowy figure. It was as if the very essence of night had come alive, twisting and writhing into a shape that exuded pure malevolence. Its eyes burned with malevolent glee, twin orbs of hatred that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of reality, seeking out the deepest fears hidden within the soul. It welcomed Sarah to her doom, promised her an eternity of suffering. The words dripped with venom, each syllable a dagger aimed at her resolve. But Sarah stood her ground. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she refused to let fear dictate her actions. She had come too far to back down now. She spoke of the woman's remorse, her desire to make amends. Her voice, though trembling, carried the weight of truth and sincerity. She offered herself in the woman's place, a trade for a trade. The words hung in the air, a testament to her bravery and selflessness. The entity laughed, a chilling, hollow sound that echoed through the room. It was a laugh devoid of joy, filled only with the promise of torment. It scoffed at her offer, but Sarah saw a flicker of doubt in its eyes, a seed of uncertainty that she nurtured. She realized that even the darkest of beings could harbor a sliver of doubt. She pressed her advantage, speaking with a conviction she didn't know she possessed, reminding the entity that even darkness craves light, that even monsters can be moved. Her words were like a beacon, cutting through the shadows. The entity hesitated, torn between its desire for Sarah's soul and the chance to break free from the curse. It was a moment of vulnerability, a crack in its otherwise impenetrable facade. In that moment of uncertainty, Sarah made her move. She lunged for the light, her body propelled by a surge of adrenaline and hope. She lunged for the light, feeling the entity's grasp on her ankle, trying to drag her back into the darkness. The struggle was fierce, a battle of wills and strength. But she kicked out, connecting with the entity's hand. The impact was enough to loosen its grip, giving her the precious seconds she needed. The mirror shattered, a deafening explosion of glass and light. The sound was like 1,000 screams, a cacophony of despair and release. Sarah collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath, surrounded by shards of the shattered mirror. Her body was exhausted, but her spirit was unbroken. She was back in the attic, the mirror gone. Only a pile of dust and broken glass remained. The air was thick with the remnants of the battle, a silent testament to her victory. The whispers were silent, replaced by an eerie silence. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a quiet that held the echoes of the past. Sarah stumbled to her feet, her body aching, her mind reeling. Each step was a reminder of the ordeal she had just endured. She had escaped, but the experience had changed her, marked her in ways she couldn't explain. The shadows of the past clung to her, a constant reminder of the darkness she had faced. As she left the attic, she glanced back at the spot where the mirror had stood. The space was empty, but the memories were vivid, etched into her mind. In the faint light, she could have sworn she saw a figure standing there. It was a fleeting image, a ghostly presence that seemed to watch over her. It was the woman from the mirror, her face etched with gratitude, her eyes filled with a long-forgotten light. The expression was one of peace, a stark contrast to the torment she had known. Then she faded away, leaving Sarah alone with a single, chilling realization. The battle was over, but the war was far from won. The mirror was gone, but the haunting was far from over. The shadows still lingered, a reminder that some battles leave scars that never truly heal.